So hi, I'm Ryan Michael Galloway here with We Don't Need No Stinking Recordcompany.com, and I'm with Nolan Brett, and we're at Crystal Clear Sound Studios, which I've been posting from the last couple of nights. And Nolan is in charge of mastering songs. Now we've talked about mastering recordings before, and we have an expert down in Houston that we talked to quite a bit. But because he was down in Houston, I couldn't show them any of the stuff,
right,
and talk a little bit more one-to-one about it. So I guess there's a couple things that we can talk about. First of all, let's redefine what mastering is. And mastering, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's to try to get songs to be balanced in their kind of total spectrum and that kind of thing, and their volume, so that they sound good on a lot of different systems.
Yeah, I mean, it's taking the mix, making it sound the best that it can sound, using EQ and compression. The main purpose is to make one song sound the best that it can sound.
Okay.
The big picture is to make the whole album sound the best that it can sound, and make it sound consistent, and make it sound like all the songs are related to each other.
And that's not a question I ever got a chance to get into before with my my other expert. So yeah, how difficult is that? That sounds like, I guess if everything's recorded in the same place, it's not so, but...
Generally, albums are mixed by the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got 12 songs, they've all been mixed by one person. And that one person sort of has his or her view of the way that a song should sound. So if the very first song that you listen to, if the low end is way out of control, if it's way too loud, you can make an educated guess that the other 10 or 11 songs are going to have out of control low end, because that's their opinion of the way that should sound.
Gotcha.
So it's sort of the built-in mix engineer bias is in there, and you just have to figure out what that is, and it tends to be pretty consistent when it's mixed by the same person.
How often do you get feedback from the producer or the artist or the team that you mastered it wrong? Is that,
sometimes I would
yeah.
say at this point about half of our projects are mastered with a representative of the project in the room.
They're right there with you. Great.
Which is really nice. The other half is sent to us from out of the state, out of the country, or even I've got clients that we've just built such a relationship that they just drop it off and leave, and then come back when it's done, because they just kind of trust what we can do here. So it's kind of few and far between of the projects that need to be completely redone. I can't really think of one that's needed complete redoing.
And do you need to catch that?
No, I can turn it off though.
Do you, it's a blog, so we don't worry about these things too much. Not a lot of editing here. Is this a measure-by-measure process as you go through the song, or generally you try to find something that strategically works for the entire song?
Something that works for the entire song. There's times where maybe there's a section of the song, maybe a solo or a bridge or something, where something gets really out of whack for a second. You might need to create an EQ for that section to make it work within the context of the song. But generally...
Yeah, that would only apply to that part of the song?
Right.
Okay.
Generally, it's a full song proposition. You set up the EQ and the compression settings, and you can let the whole song run.
And on the average, to do this for a song that's been reasonably well recorded, is that hours of work? Is it
for one song?
Yeah.
No. If it's been well recorded and well mixed, you're looking at maybe 5 times the length of the song. Listen to it maybe 4 times, maybe 5 times, and then print it.
Are there any devices you use to actually analyze the sound spectrum of a song, or do you just listen to it?
Yes, I've actually got this really cool program called SpectraFu, and it's a monitoring software.
So what you can't see on the screen is this.
Oh yeah.
It's going to pull up a grid.
Yeah, so it's like a real-time analyzer.
Yeah.
So it shows frequency from the low ends on the left, the high ends on the right.
And it's probably showing you what's peaking, and
it just shows you the levels of that of those frequencies. It shows you the intensity of every frequency. So I'll do this
Gotcha.
without any audio. But
again, we're looking at something that looks like a spaceship.
So that's
But,
just
a
a
little
spectrum,
smaller.
a spectrum analyzer, and then got a couple other tools, some phase meters. It's it's important to make sure that your recordings are in phase, or if they're not, to know that they're not, and then we can figure out what to do about that.
Wow, that's interesting. I can't even imagine how something would get out of phase.
It happens.
yeah?
A lot. Yeah.
Really?
Maybe not a lot, but
Really?
more often than I would care for it to happen.
That's scary.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. That people couldn't have heard that,
Right.
But well, Nolan, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate the briefing
Yeah.
and letting my folks get the chance to kind of see your environment, what you have to work into. This might be a good job opportunity. Not Nolan's, understand. He's pretty set here right now. Anyway, so I'm with Nolan, and we are at Crystal Clear Sound Studios in Dallas, Texas. I'm Ryan Michael Galloway with We Don't Need No Stinking Record Company.com.